Alright, back again, and today's little episode here isn't going to be very adventurous. What I'm going to do is I'm going to pull the parts that I need off of this engine that I pulled out of the Aprilia, and I'd like to get this cylinder head off, so I'm just curious at where that top of that valve is, if it completely destroyed everything, or if it went down through the piston. I'm not 100% certain what's exactly happened there, but I know I need to get the starter off, and then I'm going to try to rob a couple pieces off of this thing. Just for use and parts off for my other bike, you know, just to have on hand. But the one thing I do want to give a little shout out here, when I started YouTube, I really didn't think much about people overseas watching my videos, and I actually had somebody. I've got quite a bit of Italian subscribers. The Italians have reached out to me. One in particular, and I know I'm going to butcher his name here. And Antonio Calana. I mean, that's what I'm thinking how it's pronounced. And he's actually a moderator on a Facebook site called The Lion's House. If you have an Aprilia motorcycle, you might want to check that out and join the group. It's actually regulated by administrators. But other than that, thank you very much for watching, guys. When you send me a message, I have to go through about 10 minutes worth of work to go to Google and Google Translate, and then cut the text from the Italian. I've got a few Russians that have been messaging me, and then I've got to Google Translate that, message you back in Italian. I don't speak Italian. I actually do speak a little bit of Russian, but other than that, we'll get into this. And I will say one thing. What I'm going to do is I'm going to make a list of the parts that I'm going to need. Hopefully, I can get the list made all together at once. And because I live here in the U.S., I'm going to give a big shout out here to AF1 Racing down in Texas. You can look up the parts diagram on their website. They automatically give you a price. If it's $49 or more of a purchase, they ship that stuff for free. If you're going to order and you live in the U.S., go with AF1 Racing. They're 100% probably the best Aprilia dealer in the country, and they're one of the largest too as well. But we're going to get into this. I'm real curious on how this top end cylinder head's going to turn out. So yeah, start taking this apart. Well, and what you're going to see in here is the big problem here. When I remove that cam tensioner, that should have took the slack off the chain, but it appears that the engine is stuck. I can't get a good focus on there, but you can actually, I see the cylinder head, the valve stuck there, so I'm probably going to have to try to get these cams off of this chain. And since I'm not going to use this engine, I'm not super worried about it, but yeah, this engine this cylinder head's going to be destroyed. What I'm going to try to do is, there's a little bit of slack in that chain. When I removed that tensioner, it should have took all the slack. It should have put some slack in this chain, but this engine's stuck. That, or I'm not doing something right, which I'm trying to refuse to read that book. So I'm going to try to pull the cam gears off of here, since I'm not going to use any of this stuff, and we'll just see if we can't get it to come off just a little bit.
Over the edge, feel like I'm floating through the air. The pain I felt is paid for, all is said and done.
If you're watching this, this is the intake cam. You can see where it's marked I for intake. Be on your intake side here. If you ever pull your cams out, your exhaust is marked with a circle notch on the lobe on both sides. So you've got your intake and your exhaust marked like that. These actually don't look damaged. I might be able to, I'm going to look up and see if Web Cams will put some weld on there and make me some high performance cams out of these. I might put high performance cams in my bike if I get to get this done pretty cheap.
Burning the bridge that keeps us. I'm here and I'm feeling fearless. Exaggerated, that's what you assume. The story's over now, I must conclude. I am conflicted, watching where I step still, hanging in the balance, not the life I want to live. I want to take it all, standing tall, fear I've weighed the person you are. Oh, break out, I've got to see. Spent all my life holding all of it closely. I played it innocent, a feel of discontent. I'm finally facing it all, fearless.
that I wanna be better, not worse when it hurts. I'm on this earth with my words and I put them all together and insert, cause I wanna have worth. Working hella hard till they put me in the dirt. Gonna go far, man, I take these words. Gonna be a star, man, life's like a blur. When you're working this hard till you get what you deserve. Yeah, I ain't taking a backseat, I'm passing. Anybody else in this rap band, I'm nasty. Ain't nobody able to catch me.
No.
They cannot compare, they can match me, I'm at half speed.
Take a look at that. Boy, I'll tell you what, that found the valve head, and it really jammed that up. It's actually not as bad as I thought. It ain't good, I can tell you that. Wait till I get this cylinder head part, take a look at it. Actually doesn't look like there's any metal shavings down on the engine, but that don't mean a whole lot just looking at it from the top. Well, I'll tell you, it's just not worth risking it. You know, I was told that this engine had done this twice. So I don't know if I could have a bent rod in there. Crank could be no good. There could just be so many things. And these rings, oh man, you can't really see it. Look at the chips in the rings. It would cost more to rebuild this than it was for me to pick up another engine. So I really made the right choice. I picked up that other engine with 8,000 miles on it for $550 shipped to my house. The guy guaranteed me it to run, and he gave me a video of it running, and it's actually out of a Tuono, a 2004 Tuono, but it's just the same. It's got big valves. I haven't seen nothing like this since I had an Articat four-wheeler that dropped a valve in the front of the head that I bought. So let's try to get this valve flipped over and look at that on the cylinder head. Oh my God, look at that. Wow, I've actually never seen that. The guy that repaired this, what's funny about this is he put these Iridium IX plugs in here. Take a look at that. It's completely destroyed. You know, when you're repairing a bike and you're working on a bike, a little tip for you, you know, stick with the regular components. These are about $10 plugs. This guy spent $40 on these plugs, and he should have bought the $2 plugs if he's just going to destroy the engine. When you're working on stuff, you just need to get it running and get it moving first, and then start doing your upgrades after you do that. Get these last 3 bolts out. Probably be okay. You can see how hot it is raw. Look at that. All right, let's take a look here. Oh my God. Got some metal shavings in there. This thing's gonna be useless. Actually, this probably wouldn't be too bad for a if you're gonna do like a 1103 big bore kit. That's got a little chip there. That ain't good. It's just scrap aluminum, really. And we got the cylinder head. Get this thing to focus. Yeah, you can see that's pretty trash. See that they're both bent. This is so busted up, there's no use. I wouldn't reuse this. It's just, if you were going to rebuild your engine, you had this happen, you'd either buy another engine or you would just buy another cylinder head. But yeah, this is pretty much it, guys. So I'm going to stop here, and then you know, next week I'll probably put those other parts on that engine, then we'll start going through that, and I'll get my list made up and to contact AF1 Racing. But thanks for watching, and if you want a free Amsoil catalog, click the link below. Use my number if you go to purchase any Amsoil for your car, truck, you know, farm equipment, lawnmower, motorcycle, anything. Even for these Aprilias, that 15W50 full synthetic oil they just come out with is top notch, and it won't affect your clutch on these like other oil will. So, you know, check it out, and I'm out here.